Okay, let's start a little different today. You stretch hard, then you hold that stretch, and at the end you pump? Sounds good, right? If that's how you do it, honestly, you're on the right track. But these aren't just three steps. These are the three pillars of growth in PE: high tension, low tension, and pressure. Without them working together, progress is weak, slow, or it simply doesn't happen. And today, I'm going to explain exactly why and how these three elements connect into one powerful structure that actually produces growth. This is the foundation, and after this intro, you'll see that the whole process makes a lot more sense. There's a pattern in PE, one most guys don't even notice at the beginning. And that pattern alone decides whether you actually grow or stay stuck for months. This pattern is built from three elements, three specific signals that only work when they're combined together: high tension, low tension, and pressure. If even one of them is missing, the whole process weakens. Your tissues get a signal, but it's incomplete, too weak to trigger real adaptation. But when all three elements work together, that's when something different starts happening. Growth becomes stable, predictable, and finally, visible. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you today: how each pillar works on its own, how they connect, and what you need to do to make this entire process work the way it should. This is the moment when PE starts making sense, real sense, the kind you can actually see in your results. Now we move to the first, and the most important pillar of PE: high tension. This is where real growth begins. This is the moment your tissues receive a clear, unmistakable signal. You need to lengthen. Without high tension, there is simply no meaningful progress. High tension isn't about yanking harder. It's not about hand strength. It's about deep, stable, even tension, held long enough for your body to adapt and slowly rebuild itself from the inside out. Let's break this down properly. Based on hundreds of real reports, the effective threshold for high tension starts at around 5 pounds, about 2 kilograms. A minimal reaction can happen slightly below that, but most guys don't see real, visible changes until they consistently work in the 5 to 10 pound range. Some advanced lifters go to 12, even 15 pounds, but that's progression, not a requirement. What matters most is how it feels. High tension must be felt inside the shaft, deep in the core, not in the skin. If the skin is stretching, then it doesn't matter what the number is. You are not in high tension. Now, let's talk duration. Time is just as important as force. 20 minutes is the absolute minimum for a meaningful biological response. Anything under 15 minutes, your body simply won't react. The optimal range is 20 to 40 minutes. One continuous session, or intervals, 10 minutes on, 1 minute off, as long as your total work time crosses that 20-minute threshold. When it comes to technique, you can do high tension manually or with equipment. For manual work, the most reliable methods are fulcrum variations, the A stretch, overhand stretching, and down the base. The key is keeping everything static. No pumping, no swinging, no back and forth movement. Equipment gives more control: stronger phallosin setups, angle-locked extenders, Total Man, Auto Extender, Mandingo, and if you're experienced, classic hanging, which gives precise control over both weight and duration. Whichever method you choose, the rule is always the same. The tension must be deep, stable, and held long enough for the tissue to receive a clear, consistent signal: lengthen. The most common mistakes? Too little tension, too little time, chasing force instead of stability, skipping warm-ups, ignoring numbness, or pulling in short bursts instead of holding properly. Every one of these mistakes either kills your results or raises the risk of injury. High tension is the foundation. It initiates adaptation. It generates the growth signal. It determines whether your length changes at all. If you stay in that 5 to 10 pound range, give yourself at least 20 minutes and feel everything inside the shaft, not the skin. High tension works for almost everyone. And once this foundation is solid, you can finally build the next pillar, low tension, and later, pressure. But everything, absolutely everything, begins right here. Now we move to the second pillar, low tension. This is where you lock in everything you created during high tension. Without this step, your progress becomes weaker, slower, and far less stable. Low tension means light tension for a long time. It's not about force. It's about keeping the penis in a gentle, extended state, steady, comfortable, for hours. Why does this work? Because after high tension, the tissues are activated. They're ready to adapt. And during low tension, they slowly remodel and learn this new length. That's what makes the changes stick. Low tension should feel light but noticeable. A clear extension, but no pain, no numbness, no strain. It must be comfortable enough that you can wear it for hours, at work, at home, under your clothes. That's the whole idea. Long, steady, effortless traction. The easiest way to create low tension is with any ADS, a strap, a leg-based system, a simple silicone holder, Phallosan, Totalman. The device doesn't matter. What matters is the duration and the gentle, stable pull. The setup that works best for most guys is simple: a strong, high-tension session, and then several hours of low tension to hold the tissues in that extended position and let them actually adapt. The biggest mistakes? Too much tension, not enough time, or no consistency. Low tension must be comfortable. If you can't stay in it for hours, the tension is too high. Low tension isn't the main growth stimulus, but without it, high tension loses half its power. When you combine them, that's when progress becomes real, steady, and repeatable. Now we enter the third pillar, pressure. And this is where everything shifts, where the work you did before suddenly becomes heavier, fuller, deeper. This is the moment your body feels something it simply cannot ignore. Because pressure isn't just pumping, it's controlled force. It's blood volume pushed to a level you never reach naturally. It's expansion you can see and feel in real time. But listen carefully. This only works when you control it. Pressure is not pump as hard as you can. It is precise, measured, intentional tension. And that's why a pump with a gauge is absolutely non-negotiable. Without it, you're not training, you're gambling. A safe base range sits around 5 to 7 in Hillenschree. This is where the body responds smoothly, steady expansion, steady pressure. And when you adapt, you climb into 8 to 10 in Hillenschree. And this is where the real transformation begins. Above 12 in Hillenschree, the vacuum becomes aggressive. It's powerful, yes, but only for men who know their body and respect their limits. And anything around 15 in Hillenschree or more requires perfect discipline. This is not beginner territory. Now, time. Pressure demands time, but the right kind of time. The sweet spot? 10 to 25 minutes, broken into focused rounds. 4 to 5 minutes under pressure, a breath, and then another round. During a proper session, you should feel heaviness, fullness, That deep internal expansion, like the tissue is swelling from the inside outward. No burning, no numbness, no panic. Just controlled, powerful internal stretch. And the results? They show up fast. Improved blood flow, thicker hang, stronger, fuller erections. And your other training, high tension, low tension, suddenly becomes more effective because the tissues are primed and charged with blood. But the mistakes? They hit just as fast. Too much pressure, too long in the tube, or, the worst of all, a pump without a gauge. That's how men end up with edema, every time. But when you respect the process, controlled pressure, correct timing, steady progression, pressure becomes the final piece that elevates your gains to an entirely new level, a level you feel and see every single day. High tension creates the signal, low tension locks it in, and pressure expands it. It fills the tissue, thickens it, and brings your entire routine to its full potential. This is the third pillar, the final amplifier. And when you combine all three, your results stop being possible and start becoming inevitable. I mentioned this before, but this part is important. My biggest mistake was doing only low tension. For a long time, I honestly thought that would be enough. It wasn't. I'm not going to drag this out or talk about the past. What matters is what happened after I finally fixed my routine and added all three pillars. And that's when everything started to change. For the first time, I actually felt that my penis was working. During high tension, I could feel that deep, solid stretch right in the core. After high tension, the penis stayed elongated, like it had been shifted into a new position. In the flaccid state, it became noticeably looser, softer, more relaxed. My erections got stronger. And during the exercises, there was this gentle, warm feeling that I had ignored before. But now I know that it was a sign that the tissue was reacting exactly the way it should. And yes, I already said this, but I'll say it again because it still blows my mind. I gained 2 centimeters in 5 months. That's 0.4 centimeters every month. For me, that's insane. I never expected my body to react this well until I actually started doing the routine correctly. And here's the crazy part. I didn't see the growth every day. Day to day, it looked the same, nothing dramatic. But when I compared the photos from the beginning of the year to the ones now, the difference was huge, undeniable. That's why I say it again. Do not measure yourself every day. It messes with your head. Growth happens slowly, quietly, and then suddenly you look back and realize how far you've come. And all of that happened only after I combined the three pillars: high tension, low tension, and pressure. That's when PE finally started working the way it's supposed to. So here's the truth. PE works, but only if you treat it like a real process, not some shortcut or quick trick. There is no device you put on for 10 minutes that magically does everything for you. That fantasy? Forget it. High tension takes focus. Low tension takes hours. Pressure takes control. None of this happens by accident. None of this works if you're half in, half out. This is a system, and it only works when all three pillars are actually used together. And yes, it takes time. Sometimes an hour a day. Sometimes several hours of low tension. If someone tells you that you can just put on an ADS and it does everything for you, they have no idea how disturbance works. But here's the good part. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need the ideal routine. You just need consistency. If your week is busy, shift the main work to the weekend. Take 2 rest days. Give yourself room to recover. PE should work for you, not against you. The most important thing is simple. Give your body a clear signal, hold it long enough, and let the tissue rebuild. If you do that, even without perfection, the results will come. Not overnight, not day by day, but slowly, quietly, and then all at once when you look back and see how far you've gone. That's the power of the three pillars. High tension gives the signal, low tension locks it in, and pressure expands it. Together, they turn progress from possible into inevitable. And if you stay consistent, your body has no choice but to follow. If you enjoyed this video and you actually want to grow, then listen. This channel is just getting started. I'm dropping real routines, real progress, and everything I learn on my own body, so you don't waste months making the mistakes I did. And if you want to follow this journey, if you want the next videos, the next routines, and all the upgrades that are coming, hit subscribe, turn on the notifications, stay with me, because trust me, we're only at the beginning. And what's coming next, you don't want to miss.